Hi, and thanks for joining me. I'm Andrea. This is a 30-minute yoga practice. I am standing on a yoga mat. If you don't have one, that's fine. A carpeted area will work. I just don't want it to be too slick for you. I also have a couple of blocks. Thick books will do. A folded blanket, if you've got a throw blanket from your couch or even a big beach towel, that'll be great. I like to use my chair. I like to have it nearby. It's optional, but I encourage you to use it. Once you've got that stuff, let's get started. We'll start in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet hip distance apart. It's really where we land. Start to let your breath come in and out through your nose. Gaze at the horizon and notice where you are in space. Start to stand with the majesty of a mountain. You'll notice that there's subtle balance in our stance, like a little side-to-side movement can be interesting. A little forward and back. All of those are happening all the time, even when we think we're standing still. Have a soft bend in your knees. Align your pelvis over your hips. Turn your palms away from each other. Let that happen at the shoulder joint. So you smile your heart open. And just lean back a little bit with your head so that we feel ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. Beautiful posture. The grandiose mountain that is us. Take a few moments just to breathe into this space, this heightened awareness. We'll add to our Tadasana mountain pose, but it's always with us. Inhale, arms out to the side and up to the sky, a V shape with your thumbs to the ceiling. And exhale, just let your arms float back down along your sides. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, float the arms back alongside you. Adding on further, inhale, arms out to the side, a V shape overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, press gently into your thighs, grow your heart forward. Exhale, a little bit more hinge at the hip, and then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Stand into your mountain. Again, a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands come to the tops of your thighs. Inhale, heart extends forward. You grow tall from the base of your spine out the top of your head. Exhale, increase the hip hinge just a bit. And then inhale, arms out to the side. We stand upright, V shape. And then settle back down into your mountain. One more time like that. Inhale, arms out, V shape, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, gracefully, hinging at the hip, hands come to your thighs. Inhale, grow long and tall. Exhale, increase the hinge at the hip just a touch. And then inhale, we stand up, arms overhead, V-shaped thumbs to the sky. And then pause in your mountain. Step out wide and face the long edge of your mat. And then step your arms out wide, thumbs to the sky here too, as a measuring stick. So it's basically, although it's not an exact science, that your ankles are going to be underneath your wrists. So you can start with that measurement, and then we'll refine our measurement. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your right leg out so that your right foot is facing the short edge of your mat, and cheat your back heel at a 45-degree angle. And here's where we start to refine a little bit. Bend your right knee. And you don't want it to do what mine is doing now, where my knee is forward of the ankle. So give yourself enough space to get a vertical line from your right knee to your right ankle. Now with your hands on your hips, you can also note another alignment. We're not trying to crank our hips to the side. They're going to be at a diagonal. That's healthy. It's good for our low back, nice for our hip. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky here in our warrior two. Then straighten the front leg and make that V shape overhead like we just did in our sun salutation. Bend your front knee, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. Straighten the front leg, V shape, thumbs to the sky. Bend your front knee, arms out to the side. Straighten your arms in a V shape, thumbs to the sky, front leg. Now settle in to your warrior two. Keep your thumbs facing the ceiling and allow your right thigh bone to feel like it wants to move to the right side of your mat, even though our hips get tight and that makes our right knee want to collapse inward. Just see if you can convince it a little bit with nice words, kind language, to move a little bit to the right. So the stickiness of how we usually sit starts to find its way out of that hip and even out of our left thigh. Your back leg feels like it's standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. If this feels like too long a stay here, you can always straighten like we did before. And if it's too long with your arms up, bring your hands to your hips, just like we did previously. Let's meditate for 20 seconds with me being quiet in this shape. Excellent. Straighten your front leg, lower your arms, take your hands onto your hips and turn your right foot forward to the long edge of your mat, changing sides. Rotate from your hip joint, your left foot to face the short edge of your mat, and then cheat your back heel at a 45-degree angle. We should be pretty okay with our spacing since we haven't stepped our feet together, but let's double check. Bend your left knee, and then just feel and notice and appreciate that vertical line from the knee to the ankle, and our hips are at that diagonal. We're not trying to crank anything open. We're letting the left hip hug underneath us, and that's a good articulation at the hip joint for us. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and then we'll straighten the front leg in a V shape. Thumbs stay up towards the sky. Bend your front knee, warrior two. The whole while, thumbs to the sky, that's kindness for our shoulders. And then straighten the front leg and make your V shape. We'll do that a couple more times. Bend the front knee. And when you bend the front knee, really emphasize standing into that left heel. Straighten the front leg, arms to the sky. Really emphasize pressing into your left big toe mound when we straighten the leg. One more time, back and forth, bending. And then straightening into our V shape. So great. Snuggle into your warrior two. Snuggle. You're a snuggly warrior and a fierce warrior all at once. Let your left thigh bone feel like it's magnetized to the left side of your mat. So it's not collapsing your knee inward, even if we have tight hips, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Think of all the walking we've done, the places we've gone. That's just a reminder of the stories that we've accumulated, and we can read those stories with pride. Back leg feels like it's standing in your mountain. Press that thigh bone into the hamstring. Think of standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. And remember, if your arms get tired, just bring your hands to your hips. If this is too long a stay, straighten and rebend like we all did together a moment ago. Let's try to meditate with me being silent for 30 seconds. And the question is, can I really be quiet for 30 seconds? I did it, you did it, we did it. Slowly. Straighten your front leg and turn all toes to face the long edge of your mat. Now heel toe, so we're a little bit closer together. Take your hands onto your thighs like we did when we had our feet closer together at the very beginning of our practice. Very important that this is a hinge at the hips and your hands are on your thighs. So you're just gonna navigate a little hip hinge, press into your thighs, and extend your heart forward. So it is a little bit of a forward fold. You're working your legs in the direction of being straight, but they're not really gonna straighten out. It's sort of like a forward fold, but it's not gonna totally become a forward fold. We wanna keep our head over our hips. And then just breathe into the spaciousness that you're finding, and I can feel it, I hope you can, in the backs of your legs, through all four sides of your torso. And maybe you even sense that your breath is getting a little longer and deeper. And the sensations and your breath are dancing together. Now firm through your feet and your belly. Bring yourself upright. Hands onto your hips like we did previously. Turn your right leg out. Cheat your left heel back. Bend your front knee, and then we'll just check, because we did change our stance, that we have knee over ankle, thumbs to the sky, warrior two. A little bit of a different dance to our warrior shape. Right forearm across the thigh, thumb stays up to the sky. But you lean out onto that right forearm and give a little karate chop so we don't collapse into that right shoulder. In fact, it's borrowing a little bit from our forward fold that we just did, facing the long edge of our mat. Come back to warrior two with your thumbs up to the sky. Keep your left thumb up to the ceiling, your right thumb, up to the ceiling, and carefully take your left hand down your left leg. I'm going to try that little dance again. Warrior two, thumbs to the sky. Right forearm across the thigh. Left thumb to the sky. And then come back to warrior two, thumbs to the sky. If you need a break, you can straighten and rebend. Remember we did that? Keep your right thumb to the sky. Left hand lightly down your left leg. And we'll do that one more time. If you need to straighten and rebend, this is the perfect time. Right forearm across the thigh. Left thumb to the sky. Back to warrior two, thumbs to the sky. And then left hand down the back leg, right thumb to the ceiling. Come back and stick the landing of our warrior two for just 2 spicy moments. Bring your hands to your hips. Straighten your front leg slowly and turn all of your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Second side, turn your left leg out so that your left foot is facing the short edge of your mat. Cheat your right heel back and then bend your front knee. We should be okay for spacing, but it's always a nice thing to be certain. Thumbs to the sky in our warrior two. And we'll begin our dance on this side. So forearm across the front thigh, right thumb to the sky. And then glide like you're moving through molasses back into your warrior pose with the thumbs reaching skyward. Left thumb to the sky, right hand, down your back leg, reverse warrior. You breathing? Through molasses and honey we go to warrior two. And then forearm across the thigh, top arm reaches, the thumb stays to the sky. Back to warrior two. Right hand gently down the back leg, left thumb stays skyward. Move through your molasses, one last round. Forearm across the thigh, thumb to the sky. Back through warrior two. Right hand down the back leg, left thumb skyward. Come back to warrior two. Remember, if you want, you can lower the arms, straighten and rebend the leg, but this is our spicy final moment in our warrior posture. 2 more. You can do it. I know it. Hands to your hips. Slowly straighten your front leg and then turn all toes to face that long edge of your mat. Heel toe a little closer to each other, so a bit wider than hip distance apart. Bring your hands to your thighs, hip hinge. Press into your thighs and lengthen. And then just think to yourself, it's sort of a forward fold, but it's also not head below hips. And I'm going to give you a full minute here to appreciate the stretch in the back body and to let every inhale extend the crown of your head taller. If you want to move your legs a little bit straighter, and I mean a little bit, feel your kneecaps lift a little bit, your quadriceps. So use muscles to let the legs straighten and make sure it's not rounding your back. So you're still pressing into the thighs. And it almost feels like the tiniest dusting of a back bend between your shoulder blades, not a jutting forward of your chin, which will be tempting for me too. And we'll stay with it just a couple moments. Really great. Firm through your feet and your belly and come all the way upright. Hands on your hips, heel toe, until your hip distance and you feel solid in your mountain. Wander to the front edge of your mat. Feet hip distance. We'll do a couple of our sun salutations here again. Inhale, arms out and up, V shape overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hip, hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, just a little bit more hinge to the hip. And then arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape overhead. Stand in your mountain. Let's add to that. Chair pose. Bend your knees, thumbs to the sky. Now shift back and down so the weight feels significant in your heels. In fact, if you wanted to play with it, you could actually lift your toes off the ground. Make sure you're breathing, no shoulders scrunching into ears, and then stand and arms along your side. Again, like that, bend the knees for chair pose, thumbs to the sky, weight shifts into your heels, low belly is lifting and breath is steady. 2 more challenging, fiery moments here in our chair, and then stand and pause and feel it. They say that good things come in 3s. Okay. 1 more. That will make it 3. That will make chair pose a good thing. Just like that, it's a good thing. Shift your weight into your heels. Keep the V shape. Keep gazing at the horizon and allow yourself to see a bright horizon, even as you sit in the most uncomfortable chair ever. 2 more. And then stand and arms along your side. We'll make our way to the ground and we'll use a sun salutation to get there. Bend your knees, inhale. This time, exhale, hands to thighs. And as you inhale, let your legs get a little bit straighter, your spine get a little bit longer. We're not trying to do an actual forward fold. You can take your hands to the base of your chair or even to a set of blocks if they're nearby. And then gently, carefully, mindfully, make your way onto the ground. We're going to sit in cross-legged seat for quite a while. So I would highly recommend, as I kind of always do, incorporating some props so that it's going to be the most beneficial and also comfortable, even in its slight discomfort. So sitting on a blanket is what I recommend. That's what I'm going to do. You can also sit on one of your blocks or if you've got tall books, and then sit with your right shin in front of your left shin. And if it's really high up here with your knees high, then you're going to want to definitely increase your perch. That way, the hips can rotate with relative ease in their sockets, and it's not going to let your spine turn into something that looks really rounded. So think of making it have its majesty of the mountain, even in our seat. Now, for this first one, it could be that situating your tall book, your big books or your blocks on either side of you is helpful. If you're sitting on one, I don't mean to give you too many accessories to have to deal with. Now, right hand on your block or on the ground, thumb to the sky with your left hand. So like our dancing warrior, right? And then left hand to a block or to the ground and thumb to the sky. We'll go really slowly side to side here. Left thumb to the sky. Right thumb to the sky. And as we go side to side, there's a couple things I'd like you to take note of. And they're subtle things, so they really require that we pay attention. When you lean over, make sure that the sit bone of the arm that is extended is staying glued into the ground. And also really double check that it's thumb to the sky and there's no compression in your shoulder. We got a few more little dancing seats here. We're really dancing warriors no matter where we are or what position our body happens to be shaped in. It's kind of a requirement in life, don't you think? We'll take one more side to side. And then just come down the middle. Notice that we have the right shin in front, but we want the same design. So lean back, give your legs a little waggle. They'll appreciate it. When you recross, just double check that it's your left shin in front. And it's really not a cross at the ankles. It really is that cross with ankles underneath knees. And this time, instead of movement, we're going to honor stillness. And I remember in the middle of the practice, I said I was going to be quiet for 30 seconds. Now, I'm going to challenge you and me to be silent and still for a full minute. I know that we can do it. Bring your awareness to your breath, and maybe it's helpful while I'm being silent to give yourself a little silent mantra and just tell yourself, let as you inhale, go as you exhale. And one last thing before I'm silent, find the majesty of your mountain in your spine, and then let yourself let go. You're doing great. 15 more seconds. And you did it. You're a meditator. Well done. Lean back, give that little waggle to your legs again. Just feels sweet to do that, doesn't it? Move any props off to the side. And then lie down on your back. Once you're lying on your back, feet hip distance apart. Maybe even slightly wider, but hip distance is really a good measurement. Hold the edges of your mat, and before we go anywhere, feel as though you're pulling your mat apart a little bit and shimmy your shoulder blades so they're placed onto your back right underneath you. You might notice that that's different than how we tend to sit, like probably even when we were sitting and meditating and trying to have the majesty of our mountain, we were a little bit slumped, and you feel that with the winging out of your shoulder blades against the ground. So just tuck them underneath you. Let the shoulder blades be on the back. And I want this to be really careful. Just lift your hips straight up, and they don't have to go very far, but notice that that gives you length in your spine. That's all we're looking for. We don't need a big back bend. And now you get to couple that with your shoulder blades on your back and feel some really spacious posture. To your mat, and maybe you can feel against the ground that there's a little more length in your low back and that you have your shoulder blades on the ground. The feedback from lying on the ground is pretty extraordinary, I think. One more time, lift the hips just straight up, and they don't have to go very far, and I want there to be zero sharp pain anywhere. So if this hurts your low back, just keep lying on the ground and feeling your shoulder blades against the ground. Now, let it be that you're just looking for as tall a posture as you can find in a different shape than standing. And then ease your hips back down onto the ground. Let go of the sides of your mat and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your low belly. Feel the rise and fall of your breath and the beating of your heart. We often ignore this miraculous evidence of being alive. Appreciate it. Have a moment of gratitude. Now, the carefulest spinal twist. Cactus your arms out to the side. Windshield wiper, and in fact, step your legs, your feet as wide as your mat before you windshield wiper over to the right. Just let both knees fall over. Again, no sharp pain, nothing electrical. I find a really delicious stretch all along my left hip, that top hip. Maybe you feel something similar. One or two of us might pick up the right foot and just carefully place that foot onto the left thigh. If that's too much, and for many of us it will be, just stay with that initial wonderful windshield wiper. If you did cross the right ankle, carefully put that foot back down. Spill with your windshield wipers, both knees over to your left now. And stay just like this for a moment. Only if you know it's a good idea might you pick up your left foot on this side and cross the ankle on top of the thigh. That's going to make more sensation happen, and more is not necessarily more in yoga or in life. If you did cross the ankle, put your foot back down and bring yourself to center, knees to the sky. Find that little shimmy of your shoulder blades underneath you. If it helps to hold your mat, you can. And then either stay in constructive rest with your knees resting upon one another, or extend one leg straight and then the other. Shavasana final meditation, where we digest what we've done today and let it become a part of our fabric. You can close or cover your eyes if you're okay with that. Maybe you let go with your mantra. You're welcome to stay here in your final Shavasana meditation as long as you'd like. I encourage you to. If you're ready, bend your knees, place your feet carefully on the ground, roll to either side, and use your arms to help you come up to any comfortable way to sit. Once you're seated, palms up or down, take that same moment of gratitude that we took on our backs. Thank yourself for practicing. And I thank you for practicing with me too. I'm Andrea. Let's do this again together soon. Namaste.